Hey guys, and welcome to Ozzie Reviews. Today I'm checking out the electronic digital trigger pull gauge from Lyman. Now this gauge is ideal for those of you who want to adjust your triggers on your rifle or your shotgun or even your handgun for that matter. This trigger gauge will work with all firearms. Okay, let's open the case up and have a look at it inside. Okay, it comes with some instructions here. You've got the actual rod. And at the end here you'll see that there's actually a roller. Now what that roller does is on the actual trigger blade it self-centers, so that's a neat little feature there. The actual gauge itself just runs off a 9-volt battery. It doesn't come with a 9-volt battery, you've just got to buy that separately so you can get them anywhere. To actually affix it, all you need to do is simply screw it in. Screw it in as far as it can go. From there, okay, you'll see it's gone off to the side and even up a bit when you put it in the whole way. There is a little release nut just here, so just turn down and then you can tighten the rod up from there. So I can do the measurements and still see the LCD display there for this review. Okay, so a little bit on the features. This gauge is actually accurate up to 1/10 of an ounce or 2 grams. As I said, it has a fully adjustable trigger pull rod, so you can move it around to any side and manipulate it so you can do the reading. There's also memory for averaging up to 10 pulls, so once you actually do 10 trigger gauge pulls, you can actually hit the average button here and it'll give you the average there. You also see another button here, pounds and grams, so you can have it either the old scale or metric system, depending on what your preference is there. There's also a clear button and then a ready button. So it actually measures, its measuring range is between 1 ounce and 12 pounds, or 2.8 grams and 5.4 kilo. So I mean that gives you a fairly broad range there. I don't know anyone who's going to have more than a 12-pound trigger pull on their firearm. Okay, so just to turn it on, just hit the ready button and it'll zero itself, goes through its little startup. And then to actually work it, all you need to do, or to operate it, is just hit the ready button again and you'll hear the beep and then it's ready to measure. So if I have my finger out here and start to pull on it, you can see it's starting to take the readings from there. Okay, release, and then it'll just show you on the LCD display. So that's fairly neat. So all you need to do is just hit ready again and it'll zero itself and it's ready to go again. So let me show you how it is actually when it's being used on a firearm. So I've got my PWS rifle here. Now naturally it's unloaded, there's no rounds in the chamber there and there's no magazine inserted either. So let me just position it where you can see it clearly on the camera. Okay, so just to operate it, okay, we'll toggle the action forward there. Just hit the ready button again. Okay, just down over the trigger. Just let that roller take up the trigger blade there. And you can see me starting to pull back on it now. It's starting to give a reading. Okay, so come up at, well, we got 2 pounds, 11.4 ounces. Okay, so we'll give it another go, hit the ready button again. Okay, so we got 2 pounds, 8.8 ounces. Ready button once again, toggle the action back and forward. Okay, so 2 pound, 8.3 ounces, so fairly accurate. I mean, I can hit the average button there and that'll give you the average. So it is quite handy. I mean, don't pay too much attention to that average reading because remember I did that trigger pull just on my finger before I actually did that. So those of you who are wondering why the hell the average is only 1 pound when most of the trigger pulls there were 2 pound, that's why, because it took that into consideration. So if you want to clear it, you just hit the clear button and that'll clear it all out. So then you can actually do an average there, do some more readings. So fairly handy little tool. To actually switch it off, there's no switch off button, and it turns off automatically after 3 minutes of no use. Alright guys, in conclusion, this trigger pull gauge is really a handy tool. I mean, it's ideal, especially if you're a gunsmith. I mean, they'd use this sort of thing all the time. But even if you're fairly serious about your hobby, and you really want to test out the different trigger pull of your various firearms, this tool can certainly do it. So for $85, that's an average retail price here in Australia. It's fairly well priced. Also, when you look at the price, you can get it cheaper from overseas. However, by the time you pay postage, you'll end up paying probably about another $10 more than what it retails for here. And then obviously you've got to wait for it to arrive. So my advice is shop locally with it and support your local gun shops, because this seems to be very well priced. As for negatives on it, I really don't have any negatives. I haven't found anything wrong with it. It does the job fine. I've used it on my firearms, and definitely just a nice little piece of kit. Alright, so I'll finish up this review. I've chosen to do the review inside because at the moment we're being hammered with cyclonic weather here in Queensland. So once all that clears up, I'll get back out on the farm, and I've got a whole heap of different reviews coming up, different rifles and pistols and all sorts of things. So stay tuned, Aussie Reviews. Please remember to spread the word, keep the subscriptions coming, and log into Facebook and become a part of the conversation there. I really do appreciate it. So till next time guys, take care, and we'll catch you then.